Today we explore deloading and fatigue management in training science. Progress is not just about training harder every session. It is about balancing stress and recovery intelligently. Fatigue accumulates in both muscles and the nervous system. If unmanaged, it limits performance and increases injury risk. This is where deloading becomes a powerful strategic tool. A deload is a planned reduction in training stress. It allows the body to recover and adapt more effectively. Let us first understand fatigue in more detail. There are two main types, peripheral and central fatigue. Peripheral fatigue occurs in the muscles themselves. It involves energy depletion and metabolite accumulation. Central fatigue involves the nervous system and brain. It affects coordination, motivation, and force production. Both types of fatigue build up with continuous training. Without recovery, performance begins to decline gradually. Now, let us define overreaching and overtraining. Functional overreaching is short-term fatigue with later improvement. Non-functional overreaching leads to longer performance decline. Overtraining is a chronic state requiring extended recovery. Deloads help prevent reaching these harmful states. Now let us explore why fatigue is not always bad. Fatigue is a signal that adaptation is being stimulated. However, too much fatigue blocks further progress. The goal is optimal fatigue, not maximum exhaustion. Now let us identify signs you may need a deload. Persistent fatigue and low energy during workouts, decreasing strength despite consistent training effort, increased soreness that does not resolve properly, poor sleep quality, and reduced motivation to train, higher resting heart rate, or feeling constantly stressed. Now let us discuss when to schedule a deload. Some programs use planned deloads every 4 to 8 weeks. Others use auto-regulation based on fatigue signals. Both methods can be effective depending on experience level. Beginners may need fewer structured deload periods. Advanced athletes accumulate fatigue more quickly. Now let us explore how to perform a deload. One method is reducing training volume significantly. Another is reducing intensity while maintaining movement patterns. Some combine both for deeper recovery. The goal is to reduce stress while maintaining habit consistency. Now let us examine volume reduction more closely. Reducing sets by 50% is a common strategy. This lowers fatigue while preserving movement skill. Now let us consider intensity reduction. Using lighter weights reduces nervous system strain. This supports recovery without complete inactivity. Now reflect on your current fatigue levels honestly. Are you progressing or simply accumulating exhaustion? Now let us compare different deload strategies in practice. Volume deload reduces total sets while keeping intensity moderate. Intensity deload reduces weight but keeps volume similar. Full deload reduces both intensity and volume significantly. Each method serves different recovery needs and situations. Now let us examine volume deload benefits. It reduces muscular fatigue while maintaining strength stimulus. This is useful for athletes feeling physically fatigued. Now consider intensity deload advantages. Lower weights reduce nervous system strain significantly. This is useful when mental fatigue is high. Now let us explore full deload applications. This is used after very intense training blocks. It provides deeper recovery for both systems. Now let us discuss active versus passive deload. Active deload maintains light training activity. Passive deload involves complete rest from training. Active deload is generally preferred for most athletes. It maintains movement patterns and circulation. Now let us connect fatigue management with performance cycles. Training occurs in cycles of stress and recovery. Deloads allow supercompensation to occur effectively. This leads to strength gains after recovery periods. Now let us explore fatigue monitoring methods. Track performance trends across multiple training sessions. Consistent decline suggests accumulating fatigue. Now consider subjective fatigue indicators. Mood, motivation, and perceived effort provide valuable feedback. Now let us discuss sleep and fatigue relationship. Poor sleep accelerates fatigue accumulation significantly. Quality sleep enhances recovery between sessions. Now, consider nutrition in fatigue management. Adequate calories support recovery and performance. Protein supports muscle repair and adaptation. Carbohydrates replenish glycogen stores after training. Now let us examine training volume management. Too much volume without recovery leads to stagnation. Optimal volume balances stimulus and recovery capacity. Now let us discuss intensity management strategies. Training too close to failure frequently increases fatigue rapidly. Strategic use of submaximal training improves sustainability. Now let us explore auto-regulation techniques. Adjust training based on daily readiness and performance. This helps prevent excessive fatigue accumulation. Now consider long-term fatigue management planning. Program cycles should include built-in recovery phases. This supports continuous progress over months and years. Now, reflect on your current training approach. Are you managing fatigue or simply accumulating it? Now we move toward deeper strategies and application. Now let us explore advanced fatigue management strategies for athletes. Understanding your recovery capacity is essential for long-term progress. Each athlete has different tolerance to training stress. Now, consider the role of training frequency. Higher frequency increases stimulus, but also fatigue accumulation. Balancing frequency with recovery is critical for adaptation. Now let us examine exercise selection impact on fatigue. Compound lifts create greater systemic fatigue than isolation exercises. Deadlifts and squats stress both muscles and nervous system heavily. Now consider fatigue distribution across muscle groups. Proper programming avoids overloading the same muscles repeatedly. Now let us discuss session management strategies. Limiting excessive sets helps reduce unnecessary fatigue accumulation. Quality sets matter more than sheer quantity. Now consider intensity cycling across the week. Alternating heavy and lighter sessions improves recovery. This reduces continuous strain on the nervous system. Now let us explore deload timing more deeply. Performance plateau often signals need for recovery phase. Ignoring signals leads to stagnation or regression. Now consider psychological fatigue in training. Mental burnout reduces motivation and training quality. Deloads help restore mental freshness and focus. Now let us examine fatigue and technique breakdown. Fatigue reduces movement quality and increases injury risk. Maintaining technique is essential for long-term progress. Now let us discuss recovery modalities. Active recovery includes light movement and mobility work. Massage and stretching can reduce muscle stiffness. Now consider hydration in fatigue management. Dehydration increases perceived effort and reduces performance. Now let us connect fatigue with long-term programming. Progress requires cycles of stress, recovery, and adaptation. Deloads are essential checkpoints in this process. Now reflect on your recent training cycles. Have you allowed enough recovery between intense phases? Now let us summarize advanced fatigue principles. Manage volume, intensity, frequency, and recovery together. No single variable determines fatigue alone. Now, prepare to apply these concepts in daily practice. You now understand fatigue as a controllable variable. This knowledge allows smarter and more sustainable training. Now we move toward final actionable implementation steps. Consistency in recovery leads to consistent performance gains. Now, prepare to integrate deload into your routine. Your future progress depends on recovery decisions today. Let us move toward final structured guidelines. Small adjustments can prevent major setbacks in training. Now, transition to actionable fatigue management strategies. Mastery comes from balancing effort and recovery consistently. Now let us translate fatigue management into practical steps. First, monitor performance trends across your training sessions. Second, track subjective fatigue and motivation levels. Fourth, reduce volume or intensity during deload periods. Fifth, maintain light activity instead of complete inactivity. Sixth, prioritize sleep quality during recovery phases. Eighth, manage training intensity and avoid constant failure training. Ninth, vary training stress across weeks and sessions. 10th, listen to your body and adjust when needed. Now reflect on your current fatigue management habits. Are you allowing recovery to match your training intensity? Fatigue ignored becomes stagnation or injury over time. Now, stronger performance, fewer injuries, and sustainable progress. Now imagine you're training with optimized recovery cycles. Each phase builds upon the previous effectively. Your body adapts faster and more efficiently over time. Now reinforce the scientific mindset once again. Consistency always outperforms occasional extreme effort. Now take action starting from your next training week. Remember, progress is not linear, but cyclical. Your body needs both stress and recovery to improve. Now trust the process and remain disciplined. You now apply this knowledge to improve your training outcomes. Stay patient and consistent with your recovery strategies. Like the turtle, progress is slow but sustainable. Over time, these habits build a resilient and strong body. Your future performance depends on your recovery decisions. Respect your body by managing fatigue intelligently. Continue learning and refining your training approach. Stay grounded in science and avoid unnecessary extremes. Now apply these principles consistently in your routine. Build strength, resilience, and long-term performance. Trust the process and remain consistent over time. You now hold a powerful tool for sustainable progress. Use it. Your results will reflect your recovery intelligence. Move forward steadily with patience and discipline. Like the turtle, consistency leads to lasting success. And remember, growth happens after recovery, not during fatigue.